Firefox's new enhanced tracking protection whitelists Google, Instagram, Microsoft, Yahoo, Adobe, and Winamp. This has entertained me a great deal. For those of you who have missed it, this is an announcement that came through on June 4th from our good friends over at Mozilla. They said, and I quote, Firefox now available with enhanced tracking protection by default, plus updates to Facebook Container, Firefox Monitor, and Lockwise. Now, the part that I want to dive into here is that enhanced tracking protection part. That reads in a quote. This is from the blog post by, what was his name? By Dave Camp. Enhanced tracking protection will automatically, seriously, Winamp, will automatically be set on by default as part of the standard setting in the browser and will block known third-party tracking cookies. That's a good thing. I think that's a great thing, according to the disconnect list. We'll get into the disconnect list momentarily. Enhanced tracking protection will be practically invisible to you, and you'll only notice that it's operating when you visit a site and see a shield icon in the address bar next to the URL and a small eye icon. When you see the shield icon, you should feel safe that Firefox is blocking thousands of companies from your online activity. Now, this is kind of interesting because, I mean, blocking companies from tracking you online, that's yes, please do that. Mozilla do that, Microsoft do that, Apple do that, Google do that, everybody do that. That's just a good idea. But there's a couple of tidbits, a couple of particularly interesting parts of this that I'm really entertained by. So let's the disconnect list. If you go to disconnect.me, you can find more information about this. But basically, they provide a nice list that, right there, you can, of sites you can block, of domains you can block that track you, right? They're tracking domains. Pretty straightforward. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. There's thousands of them out there, just like, the Mozilla blog just said. Luckily, because Firefox uses this disconnect list from disconnect.me, we can see exactly which sites they're blocking and which sites they're specifically not blocking, right? Because they have both a block list and an unblock list. I find that fascinating. So if you go to this URL, disconnect.me/tracker protection/unblocked, you can get the full list of which sites Firefox and Mozilla have decided to not block, right? So cookies coming through with trackers and all sorts of stuff, yes, specifically allowed, whitelisted, way to go. Here's a couple that I found the most interesting. Now, there's tons of them in here, tons of them in here. However, they are specifically allowing through a whole boatload from Amazon, AOL, Yahoo, Yahoo, the same, yes, Yahoo. Yahoo has their email, right? They have Yahoo Mail, and Yahoo Mail specifically, we know for a fact that, NSA has access to those emails, that they sell data from it. I mean, it was a whole big kerfluffle a few years back, but yet just the same, Mozilla has decided that Yahoo is totally fine to have trackers. Google, really? Microsoft, Vimeo, Tumblr, Pinterest, specifically Microsoft is, Mozilla says, sorry, Microsoft, a little Freudian slip there or something. Is that Freudian? That's not Freudian. That's a different kind of slip. I made a slip, but it was different than that. Feel free to tell me in comments of this video, wherever you found it, what kind of slip I just made. But Mozilla decided it was critical that tracker cookies from Pinterest get through. That's just critical. It's critical for us to use the internet, folks. NBC News, FeedBurner, Instagram, aka Facebook. Instagram is Facebook. CBS, I'm going to come back to this. Gravatar, MapQuest, Engadget. Wait a minute. What is Engadget doing with tracking us? Why does Engadget need to be whitelisted here at all? What is Engadget doing that I wasn't aware of? Adobe, but let's go back. Winamp. Yeah, Winamp, the venerable MP3 player that got purchased by America Online, is specifically whitelisted by this disconnect list. Now, if you ask the folks that put that list together, that disconnect.me list together, they'll make it very clear. They don't accept donations from these companies to get added to their no blocking list, their unblocked list. But what they do is they decide which domains, which companies you need to be tracked by in order to have a pleasant internet browsing experience, right? So where if we block them, it would be so inconvenient that you just simply wouldn't want to use the internet anymore. Pinterest, Winamp, Instagram, CBS. Really? When was the last time you thought to yourself, thank God I'm being tracked by Winamp. Otherwise, there's just no way this internet thing was going to work. That's the most ridiculous idea I think I've heard in a long time. Now, I fully believe the disconnect.me folks, the disconnect list folks. I fully believe them. I fully believe them. I don't have any reason to doubt their sincerity. I like a lot of what they're doing. I don't want to impugn some sort of evilness on anyone's part here. The disconnect list folks, Mozilla folks, Firefox devs, none of them. Just simply from a logical standpoint, why would you convince users that they have a shield, that they're being protected from evil trackers, from thousands of trackers all across the internet, if in fact you are specifically allowing what looks to me to be the most pervasive trackers that you can imagine, from Google and Yahoo and Microsoft and Amazon and all of them, plus Winamp? What's the point? Like, if you look through the list, if you look through the list of ones that they do block, there's a bunch of them, thousands of them you've never heard of, right? And that I'm fully on board. Block them. If they're trying to track me, block it. But why unblock the rest of them? Now, to drill down further, we're not just talking about google.com. This, for the people who are watching the video version of the show, is a not complete list, as in this is only part of it, of the Google specific domains that are specifically not blocked. These domains are unblocked. They are whitelisted. They are allowed through using Mozilla's new enhanced tracking protection. Everything from, google.ad to google.com.au to basically it's every Google website imaginable. A lot of them are Google domains from different countries, like google.com.pk, google.sn, but some of them are also picassoweb.google.com, investor.google.com, sketchup.google.com. It's just tons and tons of tracking domains. Why? I don't have an answer for the why question other than to continue asking why. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. So, to the folks at Mozilla, here's what I suggest. Because I truly don't believe that you folks, and I know you're watching right now, that you folks are doing anything evil or nefarious. I think you're trying to protect everyone. Unfortunately, it gives people a false sense of security. You're putting a shield up there and then explicitly not protecting them against those who would track them the most and sell their data the most. I mean, does anyone really believe that Facebook doesn't sell data? No, we know for a fact that they gather your data, they track you wherever you're at, and then they sell it. Same with Google. That is Google's job. They are a marketing firm. They collect your data and they sell advertising through various means and mechanisms. That's what they do. That's their job. So why would you allow tracking to go through? Now, I get that if you disable too many of these really big pervasive domains, that perhaps some of those services will stop functioning or possibly just stop functioning as well. I get that. I totally get that. That makes sense to me. However, if we have decided, by we, I mean all of us, that all of these Google domains plus Winamp and Engadget need access to track us in order to have a functioning internet, I would posit that that means unequivocally that the internet is fully broken. If you can't be on the internet without allowing cookies to track you from winamp.com, without the internet breaking, why would you have the internet in the first place? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Part of me wants to take these lists, all of the unblocked lists that the disconnect.me folks put together and that that Mozilla has decided that you must have access to. I kind of want to take them and put them in my router and just say, don't allow anything from these domains. And just see what happens, right? I mean, people have done these experiments of quite a bit recently where they're saying, I'm not going to use Google or Amazon or Facebook, and I'm going to see what my digital life is like. And sometimes it's kind of easy, and sometimes it's kind of hard. I've done a bunch of those experiments myself. I get it, and there's pain points and benefits to all of that. But I wonder, if you just blocked all of these, what would happen? I mean, I'd probably still be able to email and instant message. I'd still be able to use most social networks that I want to use. And I'm mostly using Fediverse stuff right now. So that'll work. Well, I don't know about Twitter. Probably not on Twitter. I'm probably getting tracked every which way from Sunday by using Twitter. But maybe it'll work anyway. Then again, you can still use Twitter from like a little mobile web page that doesn't even do cookies. Anyway, I kind of want to try that. I think that would be fun. Also, I kind of almost think we'd be better off without this Firefox enhanced tracking protection, because enhanced tracking protection would suggest to me that it's really protecting us from tracking. But what this is really doing is protecting us from tracking by bit players, by small companies, or by individuals, or possibly someone who's nefarious, right? It's not really protecting us from tracking by those who track us the most. It's explicitly saying we are going to be tracked by those who track us the most, and we embrace that, and we love it, and we allow it. Why have a little shield that suggests to people that they're not being tracked? That gives them that false sense of security. If we are point blank saying, here you go, Google and Yahoo and Winamp. I'm refraining from saying the classic Winamp catchphrase of it really whips the llamas, because it's a family show. Anyway, I don't know what to make of any of this. It is very, very strange. Firefox, Mozilla, just ditch it. Ditch the feature. Either ditch the feature, or you know what? Make a slider or like a radio button set or something like that, where people can say, how enhanced do I want my tracking protection? Like level 0 is give me all the tracking cookies, I love it. And then like the next level up is it blocks like all the bit players that you're currently blocking. Like the unimportant trackers that don't impact your web experience at all. Okay, block all those. Okay, that's like level 1. Then level 2 is like extreme protection, and let people choose and let it block all of these. Let it block Winamp, I declare, and see what happens. Let it block all of the Google domains from sending you cookies. Why not? Doing little tracking cookies. I think that's a great idea. Let people opt into it. And you know what? Show like the level 0 is like no shield. Level 1 would be like a little shield icon with like a crack in it, like you got a chink in your armor, like someone like a little crack in your armor, like someone's gonna get you if they really try. And then like level like 2 or the extreme protection is like a golden glowing armor, and behind it is an entire army with mithril. Like the whole works. Like really do it up big. If you're gonna do protection, do protection. If you're not gonna do protection, don't do protection. But if you go in the middle, like what Mozilla's doing, and then pretend like it's enhanced, that almost feels like it's doing more harm than good, guys. And again, I don't think there's any nefarious goals here from the disconnect folks, from Mozilla, from anyone. People are legitimately trying to protect themselves and others. And I love that. Kudos for thinking about it, for implementing it, for working on it. Kudos for that. But maybe think about blocking Winamp. And this is brought to you by Pogo Linux, who built that amazingly glorious machine behind me, the Tempest. If you go to pogolinux.com, you can spec out a machine just like that one back there that runs the Lunduke Show. It's absolutely fantastic. And because they got Linux in their company name and their domain name, you can choose like a bunch of different Linux distributions to put on your custom designed rig that you know is going to work right out of the gate. Awesome. Totally awesome. pogolinux.com. Also, if you go over to lunduke.com, you can check out different ways to watch this show. I try not to judge. You want to watch this show on YouTube? Watch it on YouTube. You want to get the MP3 podcast over on iTunes, or what? I guess iTunes is being discontinued soon, or whatever, Apple Podcasts or whatever it's called now. Get it there. Fine. If you want to just subscribe to an RSS feed with MP3s, got that too. You want to use LBRY to watch the show. Boom, you got that too. If you go over to lbry.com, you can download the library client, which is all blockchainy and awesome and downloads DRM-free MP4s. You can subscribe to the Lunduke channel over there. And if you want to get questions into this show, I don't take questions all the time, but a lot of the time I do. You can email them in, brian@lunduke.com. I'm also on Twitter and the Fediverse and all over the place. It's fantastic. You love it. You love it. You go do those things. You click on the hyperlinks and you have a good time. And you know what's great? All of these hyperlinks work because you have access to cookies from Winamp. So thank you, Winamp, for making my internet possible.